everyone. So for today we're going to make something called a walking paper horse. So we're going to make a horse out of paper that should walk by itself. This one takes a little bit of tweaking and a little bit of patience. So you're going to need some scissors, your horse template, which you should have on a piece of heavier paper, which I already cut mine out for the most part, and some things to make a ramp. So I have a game here and a folder and some paper that I'm going to try and use for my ramp. So you can use books or games or whatever you might have to make a nice decline for your horse to travel down. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take your template, and I'm going to put it on another piece of paper just because it's very similar to the background paper here. So once you cut it out, it looks like this. The only thing your template doesn't have is the shape for the legs. So the legs you want to have a little bit curved. So what I'm going to do on my end, and you can do on yours, is if you start in the corner by the head or the tail and just kind of work from the center out to the corner, kind of like a little triangle on both sides, like this, so that both of them are a little bit circular on the edges, like that. So then you would cut this away as well. That's the only thing not on your template. So I think your template should have, actually should be dashed lines in here. So you're going to cut on the dashed lines to create the legs and then stop at the solid line for the body, and then the same thing on this side. You're going to want to cut in on the dashed lines in until you hit the body. So you're going to cut here and here and here and here. And I already have one done. It's not labeled, but it's finished. So this would be your body. And it doesn't really matter which side is the head or the tail because they're all the same length, but you could see I cut the little corners off, these little like triangles on the end, so that it's a little bit rounded for his feet. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to bend all of the legs. So the four, I'm going to put L for leg. We're going to bend those so that they're perpendicular, so at a 90-degree angle. So the easiest thing to do here, and it doesn't matter which way you fold it, is just take them and fold them in. So I'm going to fold the outermost pieces here and try to make them even so that his legs, he stands up evenly. And I'm going to do it on this side and this side. So this would be his legs. And then whichever one left, doesn't matter left or right, you can use for his tail. So if you take like a pen or a pencil and you can roll it so his tail curls up a little bit. And you're going to want to definitely do that because you need the head and the tail for balance. Now I'm just going to make the head. So I'm going to fold this one up a tiny bit, and then I'm going to fold this part down a little and then just pinch the edges in to form some type of head. It doesn't really matter what you do for the head, but you need to make sure that they are sticking up a little bit, like I said, for balance. So you might have to tweak this a little bit as we go. Took me a couple tries to get this one to work. So now we're going to create our ramp here. So I'm going to use this game board, and I'm going to use a folder, an old Shine folder actually, as my ramp. So it's higher here and lower here. So this is a laminated folder and it's pretty slippery. So what we're going to try first to see if it works is we're going to set our little horse up here, but you notice he is just sliding right down. Now it might look like he's walking, but he really isn't. He's like skiing down there. He's just sliding down. His legs aren't really moving. So that's because right now with this laminated folder, it's very slippery and it's not enough friction. So it's kind of like if you've ever slid across your kitchen floor or a slippery surface on your socks, you're able to slide through. Whereas compared to a carpet has more friction, the carpet is more rigid. It doesn't allow you to slip. So we need something that's kind of in the middle. This is too slippery. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a piece of paper and put it on there, and hopefully my horse will stay in place. So that is causing, well, now the paper, we're going to fold this over so it stays. Okay, so now we're gonna try this again. Whoops, got him backwards. So this is something you have to play around with. You might get lucky and it'll work the first time. I made one earlier and I had to push the head up a little and the tail up a little to kind of get it balanced. So hopefully what will happen is if you give it a little push, and maybe it'll work on its own, it will actually start to walk down by itself. And mine seems a little, something's catching here. So I might have to adjust his legs. So like I said, you definitely need some patience with this one. You kind of want it to go. All right, I might have to snip a little bit off his leg. He seems to be lopsided, but I do have another one that I made earlier, same one, and this one I got to work pretty good. So let's try this one. Of course he's. Okay, we're gonna try again. So maybe my ramp this time is different than last time. It might be too much on an incline or not enough. You have to play with all the different variables. There we go. See, he's wobbling back and forth. He almost wants to fall over. So he's going all by himself. Slowly, but he is going. Okay, he slid at the end. Again, it's too slippery here. So we're gonna put him on again and try it out. Now, the reason that this one works is at the top of the hill, the horse has a lot of potential energy, and potential energy is energy that is stored. So gravity's pushing down on him and kind of creating some energy and some tension inside there. And once we give him a little push, the gravity's gonna pull the horse down the hill, which turns the potential energy into kinetic energy, which is energy in motion, energy that's actually moving. So right now, this is kinetic energy. An example of kinetic energy. Now he's tipping back and forth because I think possibly maybe one of the legs needs to be trimmed, but it's still working. And you notice once she gets to the end, he kind of slips off. There's not enough friction there. So the horse is made of different shapes and different angles. So the legs we cut at an angle. So you might have to adjust some of the geometry to get it to work better. Or like I said, I had to curl up the tail and push the head back a little just to balance it to start with. And sometimes he falls over. So you can play around with the feet. You can try different types of paper. A heavier paper usually works better. You can try adding another book to your ramp to see if he goes any faster or any slower. You can make a couple of these and have races with your friends and see who gets to the end. You can have horse races. So don't give up on this one. Have some patience. It took me a few tries as well, and as you can see, mine doesn't make it down the ramp at the same pace or even the whole way every time I try it. Sometimes I have to give him a little push to kind of get him going there. But have fun with this one.